On this Wednesday afternoon, we welcome you to Fort Lee for some New Jersey girls high school basketball. Hi again, everybody. John Fanta here with you. Great to have you with us as today's matchup features the Fort Lee Bridgemen as they welcome in the River Dell Hawks. What are we looking for in this matchup? Well, River Dell off to a 2-0 start to the season. Fort Lee at 1-1, and it's the matchup in the backcourt that will be one to watch. Caitlin Nader is a senior for River Dell. Averages in double figures for them thus far this season. And on the other side, the star for Fort Lee is Amy Diaz, the 4-year starter who initiates for her team. She's going to need to be strong defensively today against Nader, as well as Sarah Vanderbeck, a veteran backcourt for the Hawks. So talking to Billy Straub, the Fort Lee head coach, he's brought up the 2-3 zone, the importance of their defense, which is what they really fall back on. This Fort Lee team is scrappy defensively. We saw it last week in their season opener victory. They're going to need that defense here again today against a Riverdale team that is off to a 2-0 start. For Fort Lee, some of the storylines early this season, we've seen contributions from a number of players. Yishi Wang with her strong first half last week in the season opener. Sophia Pagan, Catalina Gill also coming up big for this team. And Lily Schulman, who's an X-factor off the bench, able to provide a bit of a spark. Today, Fort Lee's going to have to be all over the glass as much as they possibly can against this Riverdale squad. The other key to this game is the height. The height of this Riverdale team, coached by Lindsay Steffner, who played at Riverdale. Billy Straub and Fort Lee getting ready. We've got the national anthem now, just moments away from tip-off here for some New Jersey girls afternoon high school hoops. Looking forward to this matchup. Getting set to go between Fort Lee and River Dell. John Fanta here with you from the East Gym at Fort Lee. The Bridgemen 1-1 on the season. It's a big Fort Lee River Dell day. The boys teams are over at River Dell playing them today. And here we've got the girls action from the Garden State. Billy Straub talking about countering River Dell's length. That's been the strength for this River Dell team. They've beaten Westwood and Pasco Hills, coming off a 52-43 win over Pasco Hills. And in that season opener win over Westwood, Sarah Vanderbeck, who wears number 5, Caitlin Nader, who wears number 10, a junior, a senior in their backcourt. They each had 10 points apiece. They do a coin toss, and the ball will go to Fort Lee first as the Bridgemen won it, and they start on offense. Great to have you with us for some Wednesday hoops. That floater doesn't go, tip back out for Gill. And here's Diaz with the basketball now. Back to Gill. Little hesitation. The drive from the baseline. Another one short, put back. Third look at it. They got 4 different opportunities, and it'll stay with Fort Lee. As Ivazoglu was on the glass, as was Pagan. But if you're Billy Straub, you love that you're attacking the glass here in the opening 30 seconds of this game. That was the priority for Fort Lee today. Ivazoglu kicks it out. Diaz is stuck. She's gotten swarmed defensively and gives it away. Crowder with the dish. It doesn't go for Gilmore. They're going to post up a ton today. That one goes for Lily Crowder, the sophomore. That's exactly what Billy Straub wants to avoid, allowing River Dell to get easy touches in the paint. Pagan down the lane. Battle for it. It's tipped a couple of times, and it'll go to River Dell. Now you think about these two teams, and they've talked about it in the Big North. You have to have physicality. You have to be able to counter each other's tendencies as that corner 3 drops for Caitlin Nader. Well, we told you about Nader, the senior, facing another one today in Amy Diaz, and Nader's the one who helps the Hawks set the tone. Great start for River Dell. That pass is picked off by Nader, who surveys, gives it off to Vanderbeck. Extra pass. They've got great ball movement here early, and Crowder lays it in. Lily Crowder with 4 early points, and the River Dell Hawks are all business to start. The give from Gill, pull up. Just long. Ivazoglu comes up with it. She can't finish. Ball entered in the paint, tip back out, and it'll go off Fort Lee. It'll stay with the Hawks. Well, River Dell off a stop looks to run, and run quickly. They have been on the break and getting it inside. This is a 2-3 defense for Fort Lee. Top of the key, Vanderbeck. Entered inside to Crowder, who's been hot. Vanderbeck for 3. Way off this time. And that's what Fort Lee would like to do defensively in this game. Pack it in. Cause River Dell to take threes. Diaz and Gill break the press. Gill comes up with it. Out to Wang. Wang with the floater. It's long. Here they come again. Vanderbeck, the junior, with the dish. Crowder got the offensive rebound, And it's Lily Crowder's world to start this game. She's got 6 of the first 9 for the Hawks. Riverdell's playing a 3-2 here out of the gates. Diaz comes up with that floater. An interception by the senior. Ivazoglu couldn't hang on. It belongs to Fort Lee. As that ball went off of Gilmore. And here comes in that X-Factor player. The 6th woman for this Fort Lee team. Lily Schulman. Also a volleyball and a softball player. Now as a senior has just worked her tail off throughout her career at Fort Lee. And enters this game now. They give it away. Vanderbeck on the break. 11-0 Hawks. Timeout called by Billy Straub. We'll take one too. Riverdell up 11-0 on the road. Nearly 4 minutes into this opening frame from Fort Lee. John Fanta with you, and the Riverdell Hawks have started right where they've left off in their first 2 games. They're 2-0, and they're up 11-0. And they're bringing the press to Amy Diaz, who is trapped, double-teamed. Floats a pass to Schulman, and here's Gill. Wang for 3, way short. Diaz comes up with it. And a kick ball that'll stay with Fort Lee. Billy Straub was talking to me last week, and he said, this is my 4th year. And what he's trying to preach to his ladies is don't let one play define you. So this is an important moment as it's going to go back to Riverdell because, yes, the scoreboard reads 11-0, but this is where you find out about your group and your kids' resilience. Corner 3 drops. Caitlin Nader's got 2 triples. Caitlin Nader and Lily Crowder combining here for the Hawks, and it's 14-0 Riverdell. Here's Diaz with the teardrop. Doesn't drop. Rebound by Crowder. She can handle the basketball too. Crowder with a head of steam. Doesn't convert, and a foul is called on Gilmore. Mia Kilmurray, the sophomore for Riverdell, just enters. It kind of has the look of a 3-2, but then it translates to a 1-2-2 zone, and now actually Riverdell goes back into more of a man defense off the start of this game. Huang off the screen. She had a great first half and then was a spark in the 3rd quarter when Fort Lee needed some scoring last week against Ridgefield Park. It's dished down, and there's the opening bucket for Fort Lee. Kylie Chan finishing at the 10. Also a volleyball student athlete. Able to put them on the board. Crowder's fouled. Riverdell up 14-2, and here's the star of this first quarter, Lily Crowder. She has 9 of her team's 15 points, and she can hit this one double figures in a matter of just 5 minutes and 40 seconds. What's scary is Lily Crowder is only a sophomore. Jan up ahead to Schulman. Schulman unable to convert. Here they come again. River Dell has just been on a roll thus far. It's inside. Crowder's got 12. Well, Lily Crowder is one of the top talents in New Jersey, and right now in this game, she is dominating. Lindsay Steffner's team has been all business on the road in this first quarter. Down the lane, it's Gill. Can't hit. Just spun off the front of the rim. Vanderbeck kicked out, and the three is good. Nader with her third triple of the quarter. If you're Lindsay Steffner, I'm not sure if you could have asked for a better start. It's 21-2 River Dell. Turned over, and it'll go back to the Hawks. 58 seconds to go in this opening quarter. And the River Dell Hawks riding the 2-0 start into this building today. This game got postponed today to snow in New Jersey. And River Dell's brought a flurry of shot making in this first quarter. Baseline drive is just short, and the rebound by Schulman. She muscled that one down. Fort Lee could use a bucket here. Get some momentum on their side. Get some sort of a rhythm here before the end of this first quarter. Huang off the backboard. Entered inside now. Crowder kick out. The three for Vanderbeck just short. 15 seconds left. Chan comes up with it, and it goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Fort Lee with 11.1 to go. Kylie Chan, the lone scorer for Fort Lee. 8 seconds left here for Diaz. Now 5 seconds for Diaz. Off to Gill with 3. They get into Schulman with 2. Schulman, and that's it for the first quarter. River Dell leading 21-2. And thus far the story, Sarah Vanderbeck with 3 trays. Lily Crowder into double figures already. Fort Lee looking for a response. We're through one between the Bridgemen and the Hawks. The Hawks up by 19. Welcome back to Fort Lee. Second quarter getting underway. John Fanta here with you. Thanks to our producer, Jordan Sarnoff, for making things possible this season, an unprecedented season, and we're glad to bring you some high school hoops. Takeaway from Diaz. The senior all the way, Amy Diaz, and the foul. What a start to the second quarter for Amy Diaz. She is a star. came up with the takeaway, drove it all the way, took the bump, hoop, and the harm. And that's the kind of leader Diaz is. Her team needs a play to find some sort of a rhythm. Amy Diaz supplies it. That's who she's been throughout her 4-year career. Corner pocket three is long. Deflected back to River Dell and a foul. That'll send Mia Kilmurray to the line. Mia Kilmurray, a sophomore wing. Riverdale's loaded with 5 sophomores, and then you've got 5 juniors and just the 1 senior, so they are set up for success. Kilmurray hoists and hits. 2 for 2 on the trip to the line. Here comes Diaz. Comes from a great family of athletes. Fort Lee Athletics runs in the family. Now the drive, and that one just short for Pagan. They flip it over to the left wing. Nader. Centered in the post and back out to Vanderbeck. Out to the corner. That three's just a bit long for Goldstein. Now Goldstein with it. Kick out to Vanderbeck. Her 4th three. Sarah Vanderbeck has the hot hand. 26-4 in favor of the Hawks. Chan already has a bucket in this game. Ivazoglu with the drive. Kick to Pagan. Pagan looking. It's bounced in and a foul is called. A foul on Nader. We get a substitution now. Ariana Rodriguez, the point guard for Riverdale, checking in. Wang sits down in favor of Catalina Gill for Fort Lee. It's bounced into Pagan. She couldn't hang on to it. Taken away by Nader. Here's Rodriguez. Left wing. Entered inside, flipped up, and rattles in for Mia Kilmurray, who's got 4 straight points for the Hawks. Pagan with it at the top of the key. Sophia Pagan trapped and swarmed and trying to get rid of this one, and it's a 5-second call. The defense, courtesy of Mia Kilmurray, who has shined early on in this second quarter as Schulman comes back in for Chan. So on the floor right now for Fort Lee, Diaz, Gill, Ivazoglu, Pagan, and Schulman. Taken away by Diaz. That's her 2nd steal of the game. Crossover now for Diaz. Off the step, and the jumper's good for Catalina Gill. Her 1st points of the afternoon. That was a nice pull-up off the dribble. Now it's flipped out. Goldstein. They've got great ball movement in this game. Fort Lee trapping, though, and the 3rd steal for Amy Diaz. Actually, that one goes to Gill, but back-to-back possessions of steals for the Bridgemen. Diaz with the kick to the corner. Pagan drives. Good defense by Riverdale. It ends up in the hands of Schulman, who throws it up and just couldn't get it to fall. That one with the iron unkind to Schulman. Now the elbow. Kick back out to Goldstein. Deflection, and there's the third steal for Amy Diaz. Up ahead to Gill. Gill on the break. Throws it up just long. Rebound, but taken back by Gill. That's her second steal this game. So between Diaz and Gill, they've come up with 5 steals for the Bridgemen. Jump ball is called. It'll stay with Fort Lee. Some substitutions now. Ishi Huang coming in, as well as Luciana Casal. Casal getting some time here. And she's got the basketball now for Fort Lee. A bounce to Wang. Wang off the dribble. Just short. And an over-the-back foul is called on Schulman. Well, Fort Lee's had better rhythm here in this second quarter. They've found some higher percentage shots. They've gotten some dribble pull-up action. They've gotten it into the hands of their playmakers, and Diaz has been tremendous defensively. Entered inside, and that doesn't go for Kilmurray, who was sizzling early on in the second quarter. Here's Diaz now. Diaz penetrates. Diaz throws it up, and looks like a shooting foul is called. We'll see if it's just on the floor, and now they clarify it is on the floor. So Fort Lee will inbound it here on the baseline. Diaz, Gill, Chan with the buckets for Fort Lee thus far. Hesitation, and Diaz with the left hand, everything but the end result, but an offensive rebound's picked up by Casal, and they just couldn't preserve it. It'll go back to River Dell. Left wing three, rattles home for Caitlin Kreutzer, the junior. Her first bucket of the game. Billy Straub calling out the screen at the top of the key for Diaz. Right down the parkway. Kick out. Gill. Offensive rebound and a foul. That'll send Casal to the line. Luciana Casal, also a softball student athlete here at Fort Lee. First free throw just short. Second free throw is long as well. Now off that miss, up ahead on the break. Kick to the right corner. The three is hoisted and long. River Dell keeps it. Kreutzer coming off that first three. Goldstein's got it now for River Dell. They swing it around. Left wing drive, and the iron kind to Kreutzer, who's got 5 points. Final 2 minutes of this opening half. Casal with the bounce pass. And a nice looking bounce pass to Wang, who was unable to bank in the three. The rebound by Kreutzer, and they pull it back out. Ariana Rodriguez now with it. Rodriguez left wing. Riverdale has moved the basketball really well through this 2-3 zone. Pull-up jumper. But the offensive rebound for Riverdale. Kreutzer can't hit. Casal with the board. Final minute here of this opening half. Diaz crossover off the dribble. The floater is just short. Casal trying to save it. And it'll go to Riverdale with 59.6 ticks to go. Got a substitution now. Elizabeth Lee checking in for Billy Straub's team. The junior at the top of this 2-3 zone with Gill. Left wing 3 for Kreutzer short, but another offensive rebound for River Dell. That doesn't go. Battle for it. Schulman muscling her way, and a jump ball's called. It'll stay with River Dell with 40 seconds to go in the half. Rodriguez, the inbounder, goes to the corner. Kreutzer, who's got a 3. Couple of made buckets in this half. This time she travels. So the Bridgemen, with 36.2 left, have the basketball. Billy Straub looking for his team to set a couple of double screens here off the ball for a pull-up 3. That's just long. Rebound by Schulman. The putback doesn't go. Casal comes up with it. Another look, and that one falls. Luciana Casal with some great activity on the interior for the Bridgemen. 7 seconds left now. It's flipped out. Left wing 3 is long. 2 seconds to go, and that'll do it for our opening half as Rodriguez just a bit off. An encouraging end to the half, courtesy of Luciana Casal, who came up with a putback, had great activity for Billy Straub's team as the second quarter went on, and that, for the big picture, is what you'd like to see from your junior forward. Amy Diaz with 3 steals and has come up with a couple buckets, but River Dell, off that great first quarter, leads at the half by 25. We're at Fort Lee. We're at the break. It's the Hawks 33, the Bridgemen 8. More to come here from Fort Lee in a little bit. Welcome back to Fort Lee for some New Jersey girls high school basketball. John Fanta here with you. Heading into the third quarter, the score, River Dell Hawks 33, the Fort Lee Bridgemen 8. Some of the storylines that stand out with this Fort Lee team, well, Amy Diaz with 3 steals had a great transition bucket in the opening seconds of the second quarter. And then how about the play of Luciana Casal, who was really active in the paint for this Fort Lee team. Came up with a bucket inside, and Kylie Chan with a score as well. The story for Riverdale, well, they just got a great burst early from Sarah Vanderbeck. Caitlin Nader hitting a couple of threes. Lily Crowder with 12 points. And Fort Lee will start with the basketball in this third quarter. Amy Diaz. Fort Lee in the home whites, Riverdale in the road blacks. Sophia Pagan passes it to the corner to Catalina Gill. Huang throws it up, and it goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Fort Lee. Ishi Huang will inbound here. It's a box set for Fort Lee. Diaz trying to maneuver, and Diaz is able to break through. Diaz with a head of steam all the way down the lane. Amy Diaz just couldn't finish it. Scramble for it. Jump ball. Possession arrow to Riverdale. Goldstein to the corner. Kreutzer had a couple of buckets in the second. It's out to the corner now. Baseline drive. And back out to Goldstein. They rotate it well. To the elbow. Kicked back out for the 3 for Goldstein, just short. Rebound. Ivazoglu, and she was fouled. An over-the-back call on that rebound on Concannon, who's come in for Lindsay Steffner's Riverdale Hawks. Diaz throws her right hand up for the screen. Beautifully done, slicing through the defenders. That was a nice maneuver by Diaz. She gets it back. And it's nearly stolen. Dribble handoff here. That drive, and it's deflected. Battle for it, and it'll stay with Riverdale. So the inbounder is Caitlin Kreutzer. It goes to the corner. Goldstein off the hesitation in the dribble. Runner is short. Another scrum forwards back out to Goldstein. 2 minutes into this third quarter. Neither team has scored yet. Pull-up 3 for Rodriguez is off. Huang comes out with it. They've got numbers up ahead. And coming out up ahead is Gill, who scores for the Bridgemen. Catalina Gill got out in front of the pack, and that's something that Billy Straub has talked with us about, is his team's ability to run the floor. Can they get some tempo? Now that pass is picked off by Diaz. That's her 4th steal, and number 4 scores it for the Bridgemen. 4 straight points for Fort Lee. One-3-1 zone for the Bridgemen, and they've scored the first 4 points this third quarter, and Riverdale starters are all waiting at the table. That 3's off. Another battle for it. And a foul is called. That will send Concannon to the line. And we've got a timeout. Billy Straub Looks like would like to talk it over with his team before River Dell makes these changes. We'll take a quick timeout, too, and be right back with you. Two shots at the free throw line. First one is good for Concannon. And it'll go back to Fort Lee off that miss. So Fort Lee started the third quarter on a 4-0 run. Here's Diaz. Crossover. With the kick. Gill for three. Catalina Gill's caught fire. She's got 5 in this third quarter. An impressive start to the second half by Billy Straub's team. Out to the corner. The answer doesn't go. Offensive rebound by Lily Crowder, who had 12 points in the opening quarter and enters back into this game and now heads back to the line off an offensive rebound. Lily Crowder is quite the rebounder. She's just short on the first free throw. Well, Fort Lee getting within 19. 1 for 2 for Crowder at the line. Fort Lee had 8 points at the half, so this is already an offensive burst for the Bridgemen. And it's coming courtesy of Catalina Gill. Huang, stuck, deflected, and it'll stay with Fort Lee. Huang will inbound. Huang looking, gets it in to Ivazoglu. Here's Diaz. Bounce pass to Gill. Diaz and Gill work really well together. Diaz surveying. Great defense by River Dell. Bounce pass into Ivazoglu. She couldn't hang on to it. And a foul is called. And the foul goes on Gill. But Gill might have saved an easy 2 for the Hawks by doing that. So it was a smart play to come in and cause a foul, because if not, River Dell has an easy basket in transition. 2-3 zone look by Fort Lee. Top of the key 3 is short. Offensive rebound. The stick back doesn't go, but that'll send Sophia Ferneno to the free throw line for her first trip to the line of this game. Ferneno, a junior, off on the first. Just less than 4 minutes to go in this third quarter. And 2 misses for Ferneno. Fort Lee will have it back here. Story in this third quarter, Catalina Gill with 5 points, hitting a 3 from the left wing. Huang with the drive, and she was fouled. So Yi-Shi Huang heads to the free throw line. What I love about Huang is her speed, the ability to get into the lane. She's got a good floater shot, and she just plays hard. And Billy Straub was talking to us last week about this, is that Huang plays so hard, and he just wants her to not overthink because she's such a fierce competitor. Plays volleyball, softball as well, and he said Huang does everything right for him. It goes out of bounds, and it'll stay with River Dell. Couple of substitutions now for Fort Lee. Huang, Ivazoglu, Pagan all out, and Chan, Casal, Lily Shulman in for Fort Lee. It's entered in the post. Crowder backing down. Kick back out. They swing it to the left wing to Vanderbeck, who's off on the triple. It's saved by Riverdale and goes out of bounds. A timeout was called by the Hawks. Billy Straub is shaking his head. He didn't think that Riverdale ended up coming up with possession for them to call a timeout, but they get the timeout in, and it's a 30-second TO. (35-16). Riverdale on top. John Fanta here with you from Fort Lee. It's great to have you with us. Tremendous crew of people, and a big thank you to the athletic department here. This is a place, Fort Lee, with people who are doing a lot behind the scenes to make these games happen, to make these broadcasts happen. And a lot of credit goes to them because in these unprecedented times, every challenge is hard to encounter. And there's a lot of people putting in extra hours to make this work. We've got a traveling violation called out of the timeout on Gill. 2:46 to go in this third quarter. An inbound caught by Bernena, and it's kicked out to Nader, who hits her 4-3. Caitlin Nader has the sweet stroke from beyond the arc. She's an exceptional jump shooter. And the Hawks back up by 22. Pull up, just rims out for Gill. Put back, doesn't go. Shulman with a third look at it, and it's tipped to Casal. Well, Fort Lee is fighting. Jump ball, possession arrow with the Bridgman. You think about it there. Casal got on the offensive glass. Shulman got on the offensive glass. They got a couple of point-blank looks at it. And so they'll have the inbounds. Serving, floated in. Kicked out to Shulman. Baseline jumper's good. Lily Shulman, the senior, silky smooth from that baseline spot. 20-point game. They reverse it back, top of the key, pull up three. Rims out, rebound by Crowder. She sticks it back. Lily Crowder crowds the paint and makes things happen for Riverdale. Diaz serving, guarded tightly by Vanderbeck all throughout the afternoon. Diaz does a great job of not forcing too much or making a self-inflicted error. It's taken away by Crowder. Lily Crowder ahead of the pack, and Lily Crowder has 18 points in this game. She's been fantastic. Diaz hanging on to it, looking around, and finds Shulman. Jump ball. It'll go back to the Hawks. Huang, Pagan, Ivazoglu back in for Fort Lee. Catalina Gill well as Casal and Chan exit out for the Bridgman. Nader to Vanderbeck to Crowder. Perfect passing, and a foul is called on Ivazoglu. That will send Caitlin Nader to the free throw line. First free throw drops for Nader. It's been Caitlin Nader and Lily Crowder who have combined for the majority of the offense for River Dell this afternoon. Nader's got a smooth stroke. She hits both free throws. She's in double figures today. 44-18, Hawks on top. And here comes Diaz. Fort Lee started this quarter strong. 4 straight points. Gill had a 3. Here's Diaz. Ivazoglu back to Diaz, and it's taken away by Vanderbeck. Vanderbeck off the steal, scores it. And with 20 seconds left, Diaz will come up with this one off a 6-0 Hawks run. Their starters have come back in. Now Diaz down the lane, Euro step. 8 seconds left now. Floated up by Pagan, who puts it in. Sophia Pagan with the bucket. 3 seconds left. It's up ahead. 1 second left. And that doesn't go. Deflected by Huang. 3 quarters down, 1 to go. The Hawks of Riverdale up 46-20 on Fort Lee. Fourth quarter coming up. Fourth quarter underway from Fort Lee. Bridgman with the basketball. Catalina Gill is short on the 3. Riverdale comes up with it on the break. It's kicked out. Left wing, Gilmore. Flipped inside, up and in for Ferneno. Sophia Ferneno with her first field goal. Well, let's see what the Bridgmen can do in this fourth quarter, if they could put something smooth together. Bounce pass inside, scramble for it. Jump ball called, and it'll go back to Riverdale. Here's Ferneno. Coming off that bucket inside. Crowder down low. Great ball movement for the bucket. Bella Gilmore. Gilmore, Ferneno getting involved here for Riverdale. And the lead is 30. Here's Swang. 6.5 to go in this game. Fort Lee and Riverdale also matching up in boys action. It was a single-digit game. See if we can get an update here as the fourth quarter goes on. Ivazoglu pull-up is just short. Ivazoglu battles for it. That's great hustle by Ivazoglu to come out with it. Elisai Vazoglu finding a way to get a second chance for Fort Lee. This one just rims out. Vazoglu with another offensive rebound, and now she's fouled. And Billy Straub applauding his sophomore forward, who he thinks is only going to keep on getting better. Ivazoglu also plays volleyball. You can see why. She can get up near the net, make things happen. And she comes up with a couple of offensive rebounds on this possession. And Fort Lee has it off the foul on their baseline. Diaz, 4 steals today. She's just been swarmed by the River Dell defense. That 3 short. Offensive rebound by Pagan, and it's put back in. So Fort Lee got 3 offensive rebounds on that possession. They get rewarded. Here's the 1-3-1 zone. Left wing, Goldstein. It's now to the right baseline and taken away. The steal by Gill. Here comes Diaz. Pull up 3 for Wang is long. Catalina Gill and Amy Diaz have combined in this game for 7 steals. They've been really good defensively. Here's Rodriguez to the elbow. Extra pass into the paint. Left hand goes for Concannon. Emma Concannon, the sophomore. That was off precise ball movement by the Hawks. Diaz spin move with the drive and the score. Amy Diaz, that was fancy. She makes it look so easy. Her ability to slow down in the lane, control things. She just doesn't let the game speed up too fast when she's making that move to the tin. And it's really hard to defend Amy Diaz when she gets downhill. Riverdale stuck in the corner and a timeout called from the sidelines. Lindsay Steffner wants to talk it over with her team. 30-second timeout. Well, a reminder, we've got action for you tomorrow here from Fort Lee. Boys action. Adam Schrager is Fort Lee boys team. They'll be taking on Westwood Regional out of the township of Washington. Westwood Regional High School and Fort Lee tomorrow night. We'll have it for you at 7 o'clock. Some boys high school action tomorrow evening. Looking forward to having the call for that one. Elbow jumper is long. And the defensive rebound pulled down by the Bridgeman. Diaz up ahead. Spin move and a foul. Sophia Pagan willing her way to the whistle. And Pagan heads to the free throw line for a pair. Elisai Vazoglu, Sophia Pagan, both showing quite a bit here in this fourth quarter. Their hustle, their toughness. Wang comes down with it momentarily, goes out of bounds, and it'll stay with Fort Lee. Well, you have to credit the Bridgemen. The deficit may be large, but they're hustling. They're getting on the offensive glass. They've created 4 or 5 extra opportunities here in the first 4 minutes of this fourth quarter. Pagan is fouled, and she'll head back to the free throw line. First free throw short for Pagan. And Huang comes down with another offensive rebound off the miss. So a third look at it, and the three is switched home for Catalina Gill. Her second three of the afternoon. The Bridgemen got 2 offensive rebounds back-to-back off missed free throws on the second attempt. Now they come up with a stop. Up ahead to Wang. Ishi Wang. Looking. Throws it away. Kreutzer on the break. Lays it in. Well, you have to always take positives out of a situation. And for Fort Lee, they're hustling here. They're not quitting. These ladies are getting on the glass. They put up a fight. Baseline. Pagan. Flips it back out to Wang, who can shoot it. Ivazoglu. We've got a foul. And this foul is on Goldstein. Fort Lee moves in 4 substitutions here with 2:48 on the clock. Diaz will stay in. But it's Casal, Kylie Chan, Elizabeth Lee, and Lily Schulman all into the game for Fort Lee. Diaz off to Schulman. Schulman's got the stroke off the window. Lily Schulman with 4 points in this second half. 54-29, River Dell. Right wing 3. Just short. Rebound for Schulman. Schulman just seems to be a magnet around the basketball. Casal, ball fake, off the dribble. Pull up is long. Final 2 minutes here from Fort Lee. We got an update from the Fort Lee Riverdale boys game. Riverdale coming out on top 40-34, a defensive battle. A 6-point game, and the boys will be back in action tomorrow night. We'll have it for you, 7 o'clock. For Fort Lee and Westwood Regional. Riverdale about to go to 3-0. Kick out for the 3, bucket for Goldstein. 57-29 as Diaz kicks to Casal. Casal's hustled in this game, made a couple of plays in the second quarter. Off the bench. Now the dribble maneuverability by Elizabeth Lee. It'll stay with Fort Lee. Lee will inbound here. Gill down the lane. Couldn't hit. Here comes Riverdale on the break, up ahead. That one was tipped. Great defense by Catalina Gill. She came in from behind and made a play. I've been impressed by Gill's ability to just get around the basketball. Deflections, a block, a steal. Thought about pulling up, but she was swarmed. Now another deflection, it goes out of bounds, and it'll go back to Riverdale with 44.8 left. Well, the story of this game, Riverdale got off to the hot start. Right wing 3 is short for Rodriguez. A 21-2 opening quarter. And Riverdale, behind Caitlin Nader and Lily Crowder, their offense was unstoppable in the opening frame. Fort Lee's shown some toughness. They've shown some fight. But Riverdale has rode a hot first quarter this afternoon. The drive, that one just off for Chan. 5 seconds to go. It's laid up and laid in for Melissa Goldstein. That'll do it here from Fort Lee. The final, River Dell 59, Fort Lee 29. For the Bridgemen, Amy Diaz and Catalina Gill combining on the defensive end for 7 steals. And offensively, Gill caught fire early on in the second half to help spark the Fort Lee offense. Yishi Wang with some production as well. Luciana Casal, LSI Vazoglu, Sophia Pagan coming up with offensive rebounds, and Amy Diaz doing her part. But Riverdale today getting guided by Lily Crowder, who had 18, and Caitlin Nader, who was sizzling from 3. Our final score again, Riverdale 59, Fort Lee 29. A reminder, we're back in action tomorrow night. Hope you can join us right here on the YouTube channel when the Fort Lee boys team takes on Westwood Regional. Thanks to our producer, Jordan Sarnoff. Thanks to everybody around New Jersey high school hoops behind the scenes for making this season happen. Every game is a blessing. Every game a new opportunity for these ladies. And for tomorrow, the boys back in action. I'm John Fanta, signing off from Fort Lee. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll talk to you tomorrow right here from the home of the Bridgemen.